And of course, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Now, as you all know, in times of crisis, rapid response and effective coordination become essential to protecting communities and accelerating recovery. To support these efforts, the Kuwait Fund for Arab Economic Development launched the Kuwait Emergency Response Fund. It is a national initiative aimed at financing priority recovery and resilience projects. Today, we'll discuss the objectives of this initiative, how it operates, and of course, the role it plays in strengthening Kuwait's emergency response capabilities. With that being said, let's welcome with us Dr. Nasser Alrifai, Senior Engineering Advisor. Thank you for being here with us on Good Morning Kuwait.
Thank you for having me here today.
Thank you. Now, in terms of the Kuwait Fund for Arab Economic Development, of course, during the crisis, can you tell us about the role that it played?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Can you talk a little bit more about the role that Kuwait, Fund for the Arab Economic Development played during the crisis?
During this crisis?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, the Kuwait Fund realized internally that Kuwait needs the support of its people, its children, and the initiative was created to create the Kuwait Emergency Response Fund. The idea behind it was to provide funding from the people to support the government, even though the government doesn't need our help, but we wanted to invest in a shield to protect our country and support it in this time of crisis.
It is, and I think, mashallah, we've seen countless times, Kuwaiti people, they want to help, they want to participate and give the helping hand however way they want to. Now, the Kuwait Emergency Response Fund, when it was launched, can you tell us about this initiative?
Okay, so the initiative started with the premise that Kuwait is built on, Kuwait's government agencies and ministries are built on a specific structure with amounts of budgets allocated in the beginning of every year. Now, with what was happening, a lot of government agencies or ministries like the Ministry of Power, Public Works, they were getting basically attacked due to the current crisis, and a lot of damages were getting incurred. These came with unexpected bills. So we decided to create this fund, and it was approved by the Council of Ministers. The idea was to have money set aside from the different government agencies, private entities, all of them to support the repairs that are needed, that might have needed extra time for new budget to be allocated for it, but now this fund is ready for them. Any kind of damages, any kind of support, it's there.
I mean, it's great to hear that there are all sorts of, I would say, communities and sectors and parts all coming together, to participate in all of this. Now, of course, we, the citizens, we only hear, it's $100 million fund. But can you tell us about, the amount that this represents in practice and like what kind of projects can it finance?
Oh, well, I have a surprise for you. It's not only 100 million. 100 million was the initial amount that was contributed by the Kuwait Fund. And this was on July 5th. Now, we are now August 2nd, less than a month. We roughly have 200 million right now in that fund. The different banks, companies, they all came through, and they're still coming through. The fund is growing exponentially, and the funds are there right now. And we have some agencies that are applying, and they're getting expedited through the process, helping out the Ministry of Power, like I said, Public Works, the airport. Many are applying, requesting the fund's support, and the fund is stepping in.
And now, of course, when talking about this fund, mashallah, its roots goes back to so many years. It's good benefits not only now, we've also seen it during the Iraq invasion, during the crisis. So, of course, it being August the 2nd, can you talk us a little bit more about the role it played during that initial crisis?
Yes, we're talking about the Kuwait Fund right now. The Kuwait Fund was established back in the 60s. And we were partners, and still are partners, in economic development. So we help a lot of countries, even when we needed help. So during the Iraqi invasion, what happened was the Kuwait Fund opened a remote office in London, England. And back then, because it was the Gulf War, the number of employees was roughly 16 to 18 during that period. But the Kuwait Fund continued its operations because a lot of countries had ongoing projects which we were financing. And we were still there during that time. We financed those projects and we didn't stop. We actually financed 7 new projects during that time. Roughly 73 million KD worth of projects, loans were given out to countries in, I don't know, Arabic countries like Egypt, Syria, Morocco in Africa, Pakistan, China. They all benefited, and this was even during the Gulf War.
Now, when it comes to the Kuwait Fund for Economic Development, what is it about this fund specifically that manages to be efficient in managing all of these initiatives throughout the years?
Well, the way we work, the Kuwait Fund is one of the first, if not the first, economic development bank or fund in the region, and it was one of the first 4, I believe, that were ever created back then. And we have financed multi-million-dollar projects in different fields, be it power, solar power, hydropower, be it water desalination, water transportation, sewage. So we have the expertise, over 1,000 different projects financed in over 106 countries. So we have the technical background that will enable us to support the different agencies that come requesting assistance through the emergency fund. We can provide not only financial, but also technical assistance.
MashaAllah, so it's like, an all-inclusive kind of deal where it benefits all. And it's always, goes back to the credit of those people who made sure that it reaches so many different aspects of, I'd say, the world, right? That's why Kuwait is such a small country, but its effect is large on the world, mashallah. Now, when it comes to this initiative, and the fund specifically, is it limited to government entities or private sectors and corporations are included as well?
Well, no. For the repairs, we concentrate on infrastructure damage to government buildings and infrastructure. So power plants, like I said, airports, different buildings that are owned by the government that got damaged. We can cover all those damages. As for the contributions, no, we are open. We are open to private entities, private companies, government agencies. They're all welcome to contribute, and they have all contributed. I mean, everybody's contributing day by day. We've had banks like NBK, Al Ahli Bank, Bobian Bank, to name a few, Zain, Badr al-Khrafi, Temdeen, Salhiya, the list goes on and on. Of course, anybody can go into the Kuwait Fund's page, kuwait-fund.org, and you can actually scroll down. There's a link that will take you to the Emergency Response Fund, and you can actually see the list is ongoing. Even universities, AUM, they also contributed. So I'm always gonna not cover all the companies.
It is, yeah. But
because
mashallah,
the list is growing and growing. Like I said, we started with.
It is because mashallah, when it's for a good cause, everyone wants to chime in. Everyone wants to give a helping hand. Especially because the cause reaches so much larger widespan. Now, when it comes to these projects that are approved and funded, what is the process for the applications? Like, how does the fund itself pick these projects and the application process and the steps that people have to go in order to make sure that they put them in front of you? Okay.
We created like a guide for any entity that would like to request a loan. It basically states that all they need to do is create an application where they describe the damage, the cause of the damage that they're applying to repair. What does the repairs include? So we know what's included in it. Costs, time. These will be studied by the Kuwait Fund to just confirm that everything is clear and there's no additional information is needed. This application comes with two requests. The first one goes to the Council of Ministers, because they are the ones that will assess which projects have priority and which don't, and which we should finance and which we should disregard as they can finance on their own. As long as it's damages, they will look at it, they will set the priority, and then it'll get transferred to us. We will study it, and we will approve the funding for it. And once that's done, the government agency that applied will go on the regular path in which they need to get a contractor and get the work done. Because each agency has its own requirements, and we don't bypass them. We just provide the financing for them and the technical feedback if they need it.
It is. And it's so assuring and comforting to know that the process is thorough, right? You know, from the application stages to the picking and choosing stage, everything's being studied, everything's being looked into, everything's being taken care of. So that's always, you know, comforting to know. And speaking about comfort, you know, the idea of transparency for citizens is really important. So is there a way for citizens to know how these funds will be managed and how the progress is on each of them?
Yes. As I mentioned earlier, on the Kuwait Fund's website, there's a link to the response fund. Anybody that goes into that link will see a dedicated page just for the fund. It shows all the contributors, instructions on contribution, but also once the project gets rolling in, once they're approved and once financing starts, it will be a window that will show how the funds are being spent. People will be able to see where the money is going, before and after pictures, just to show what actually resulted from this financing. And even while financing it as a Kuwait fund, we will be receiving constant reports on progress, and they will be also reflected on that website. So people can see the projects as they're getting done, once they're done, and how much the initial cost estimate, final cost, everything will be there.
MashaAllah. So they can look and be informed about all the activities, all the outcomes, all the process, the progress that's going on within all these funds projects.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to, you know, your role that for prioritizing projects, is there criteria, you know, or a list of important stuff that you look into before choosing? Like, let's say you have 10 applications. Is there criteria that you go through before picking which one, you know, has priority?
For us, we don't get into the priority, as mentioned earlier. The Council of Ministers, they're the ones who give the projects the priority, and actually one step before them, the ministry that's applying usually hands in a list. They would say, we have these 10 projects that we need financing for, and they are listed in the priority that we as a ministry we see. Now the Council of Ministers will approve or not approve it, and they will send it to us. We go over it, and if it meets the criteria of being infrastructure, damaged, and needs repair, so we don't cover operation, maintenance, and stuff like that. If we actually see that everything matches that, we'll just confirm the selection that was made by the Council of Ministers, telling them that what you sent us is fine, and these are the final numbers, and all of these are acceptable. If there's something not acceptable, we will say that this project applied doesn't match the criteria because of the following. So they are with us while we're doing the selection and the analysis, and they get a report of the results.
And of course, results is all that matters. And mashallah, even as citizens, we've seen countless times of the results and the good nature that the fund does, you know, throughout the history, throughout time. So to be sitting with someone who participated in that, it's such an honor to me. Now, for closing remarks, you know, do you have a message that you'd like to convey to citizens, especially viewers here are watching?
Yeah, my message to the viewers is that this fund is not just a fund. It is an investment in Kuwait's infrastructure, in the resilience of this infrastructure. Companies, people wanted to help. They wanted to do something in this time of crisis. And we have created the path for you to follow, to be able to assist, to be able to contribute to this investment. And creating this fund which will support Kuwait today and in the future.
Well, thank you for those lovely words, but most importantly as well, thank you for taking the time out of your day to join us here on Good Morning Kuwait. Honestly, this has been, this has been very insightful. I'm truly privileged and honored to talk with you about this.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. That was, of course, Dr. Nasser Alrifai, Senior Engineering Advisor. Now, as you are accustomed here on Good Morning Kuwait, we have reports. And of course, it goes that in times of great crisis, true heroism is measured not only by the stories that are told, but by the experiences of those who stood on the front lines, serving their country with dedication and, of course, honor. In today's report, we are joined by Colonel General Mahmoud al-Dosari, who reflects on his experiences during that historic period and shares first-hand accounts that embody courage, discipline, and an unwavering commitment to serving Kuwait. So how about we go and look at this report?